Hello everyone, Jack here, and welcome to the Chill Zone. Today I'm bringing you yet another Stranding video, but this one is not going to be theory based, because as we are a bit over 2 months away from the game's release, there are some very interesting stuff that are being posted by Kojima himself on his Twitter account. Now, similarly to Remedy's latest game Control, which I am enjoying quite a lot of the things that you see in Death Stranding or whatever it is that Kojima posts are rather obvious in a certain manner, but whenever you have an answer, it poses even more questions. And what I wanted to bring forth today is this concept of connectivity that Kojima has been pushing forth. It's really nothing new. It's been going on all the way back in 2016 when the games were first announced, where Kojima, when discussing the game, had the inclusion of mission statements talking about human evolutions and the motto from sapiens to ludens. Said statement concluded in such words as, "We are homo ludens, we are those who play." Kojima went even further, describing the core concept of the game during an IGN interview on June 2016, where he described the games as being composed of sticks and ropes, where the sticks represent the traditional video game interactions, i.e. punching and shooting, while the ropes are about the connections between players. But what is all this connections talk about? Well, there is no direct answer to this, and the real only reason why I'm bringing this up is because that I have been observing what it is that Kojima is putting forth out there to research more about the game before it even comes out, because that's interesting. Well, in one of his Twitter posts, he wrote this: "Since I get this question a lot, Death Stranding is different from stealth games. You can enjoy first-person view, but not a first-person shooter game. It's a brand new game genre that adapted the concept of strand that we call action game. Strand game social strand system." Yes, it is a mouthful. Don't get me wrong, him replying and actually giving a definitive genre was definitely a good thing, because it has been rather confusing from what footage that he has been allowing us to see, but it's still rather cryptic. Similarly, in another tweet, he talked about how he decided to name the genre that his previous masterpiece, that is his Metal Gear Solid franchise, and how he decided to name it Tactical Espionage Action, and subsequently categorizing Death Stranding as a social strand system. Now, this brings us all back to that interview that I mentioned earlier, and the connotations associated with sticks and ropes. As some of you might know already, Kojima is a huge fan of author Kobo Abe, who did write a short novel called Rope, in which he makes a definitive statement, saying, "The first tool mankind made was a stick. It was made to keep away bad things. It's a weapon. The next tool created by mankind was rope. And the rope was not to keep away bad things. On the contrary, it is a tool used to keep good things close to you, to tie good things close to you." So, the be-all and end-all of this is that these ropes are going to be helping us with the connectivity by tying gamers together as they experience an emotional journey through Kojima's bizarre vision. And this extends all the way to how he has been making or producing the game. Kojima, throughout all his posts, has been surrounding himself with people who do just that, connect and unite people. From movie directors to actors to musicians, his entire production team. And just listening to the way that voice actors and motion capture actors like Mads Mikkelsen or Norman Reedus will talk about him, they really do seem connected. So the obvious question will then be, if the theme of connectivity and uniting a multitude of players with each other is so important to him, why isn't the game just fully multiplayer? Well, he probably would, except that he's not really a huge fan of it all. Kojima is first and foremost a storyteller, and as I've mentioned in my previous videos, he truly is a movie director making video games. He has this flair for the dramatic and always tend to emphasize that first. And for that very reason, it isn't surprising that he has that certain view on multiplayer, or more specifically, Battle Royale games. Because about a month ago, according to The Hollywood Reporter's Patrick Shanley, Kojima took a jab at Fortnite and the likes of other types of games, saying that the easiest way to make money is to make a game where everyone is on an island trying to shoot each other. I don't want to make that. And Patrick Shanley pointed out that a big applause followed. Now, there's no denying that Battle Royale games have become largely successful, from H1Z1 to PUBG, Fortnite, and even the recent entry of Apex Legends. And these give you a quick gaming experience, one that is very palatable, easy to consume, and put you in an emotional range that go from happy to rage quit. And while I attempt to understand what Kojima means here, I can only comprehend the fact that he means to create video games as it was always intended. A bit more than just entertainment and more of a work of art. And that is what, especially single-player titles, have become nowadays. Just look at games like Horizon Zero Dawn, The Witcher, Detroit Become Human. Games that really make you think after a long-lasting experience. Not to say that a game like Fortnite doesn't take a lot of effort to create, but I very much agree with his statement that these are quick cash grabs. And with all the monetization talks that's been going on with titles of the kind, it's very easy to understand what he means. With that said, however, there's still something that worries me. It's not so much the fact that the concept of connectivity is going to be including a bunch of players uniting with one another and solving some mysteries or discovering new stuff. This has been done before on many games when solving puzzles, or even one of my favorite examples being that of World of Warcraft, a game that is receiving a resurgence of players due to it going classic again. But in some of the later expansions there were these unsolved mysteries where you had to solicit the help of other players to solve a mystery and to get a special loot. No, it's more of the fact of the message that this is trying to send. And it is rather risque, because obviously a game like Stranding is trying to appeal to more than just your general gamer. And I can already hear you say, but isn't this meant to be for the ludens, those who play? Yes, most certainly. But when you are soliciting the help of well-known actors and media people, if I can say that, you are attempting to appeal to more than just your average gamer. And a good example as to why this is risque can be easily taken from another of Kojima's work, being the Metal Gear Solid franchise. Because if you didn't know, Hideo Kojima is very much anti-war, a pacifist if you want, a philosophy or way of life that I am very much behind. But with the Metal Gear games, Kojima's commitment to skewed realism with all the military tech and lingo almost undermined his effort to portray war as a horrible pursuit. In MGS, Kojima creates a protagonist that is very appealing, that constantly pushes himself to the limit to save the one that he cares about. And while he is following a noble cause, there's never really a time where he settles down to wonder whether or not he could solve any of this in a less destructive manner. Thus you end up with a situation similar to what French director François Truffaut would say. It's not possible to make an anti-war movie, because all war movies with their energies and sense of adventures end up making combat look like fun. So my point with this is that Kojima has this view of a very fractured society, very similar to ours actually, if you take into consideration this very in-your-face statement from Sam.
Covering the world in cable didn't bring an end to war and suffering. Don't act surprised when it all comes apart if you try to do it again.
and with all the division that is happening to us, although we have all these social networks that are meant to bring us together, we are growing rather divisive in recent years. So I definitely do believe that Death Stranding is a game that is attempting to bring us more connected as gamers, primarily, and in a manner that is perhaps not seen before. At least that is what I hope. But my single worry is that the game, in all of its grandeur and bombastic looks, ends up having a message that gets lost in translation. But that is my one single worry with Death Stranding, because other than that, the game looks very promising. From the inclusion of wonderful artists such as R&B rapper Khalid, Major Lazer, and even the synth-pop band Churches. Now, given the somber attitude, or rather somber tune, that have been used in some of the previous trailers as well as gameplay footage, I would assume that bands such as Low Roll would be included into this album. I can only hope, but I do believe also that Juno Reactor, the ones who worked on the Matrix movie, could also take part in it. But that is a bit speculative. They only showed up in a few posts made by Kojima. But who knows? But guys, this has been my kind of weird talk regarding Death Stranding. Let me know what you thought about this concept of connection that Kojima is pushing forth. And yeah, I see you guys in the next video. Bye.